Radio Rahim with Billy Joe Saunders. First, mate, I have to commend the robe in the lobby. You couldn't look more comfortable in this moment.
I just like to let them dangle.
You're
Comfortable. See, what happens is if I let them rest on the chair, they're resting. When they're dangling, they're working.
Now, everybody might not know what's dangling.
Use your imagination. What's big and round?
There's
White and round.
big, white, and round.
My balls.
Well, they're going to have to be very big on Saturday night.
You've seen that before when I come to Canada, remember?
I do. I took a train to Canada from New York in the dead of winter to see you fight there, and it was worth every minute of it. How do you compare that fight to this one?
It was the underdog there.
You were.
What did I tell you beforehand?
Well, I won't. It won't be a direct quote, but they're wrong about that.
And they're wrong about this one as well.
What's made them wrong about this, and what have people underestimated about you that makes you such an underdog?
I don't think they're underestimating the ability of myself. I think they're just overestimating the Canelo Alvarez train, and you know, people can get carried away with that. Yes, he's a great champion. Yes, he's beat some great company, but he was lucky on 3 scorecards, 2 Golovkin fights and Lara. You know, you can't bank on that, but the judges helped him out there and bailed him out and give him another life. I just hope that they be fair Saturday night and treat us both with the same respect.
Even though he didn't lose either one of those fights, or neither one of those guys got the win, did you learn anything about Canelo that you might use on Saturday night from watching those fights?
You learn a lot from a man from a hard war when he's got to go into the trench and dig with someone that's got just as big as heart as him. And I learned and took a lot from that fight. Won't give too much away, but there's plenty more in my locker room to come that no one's seen.
Now, you've talked about, or at least Tyson Fury has, to great extent, how you feel the promotion hasn't been balanced. And Eddie Hearn is your promoter as well as Canelo's. Is that a sense of soreness between the two of you?
Is his own promoter. Eddie Hearn follows him because obviously he brings in big numbers and brings in big crowds. But on Saturday night, God's with me. And when God's with you, no one can be against you.
What is your relationship with Eddie Hearn? Professional, personal?
I'm not worried about my relationship with Eddie Hearn. My relationship with God's very good and great. So, you know, me and Eddie is business. We're never going to be best friends. The same with most promoters and other people. But, you know, it's just strictly business.
You mentioned God, and you famously said that everyone or a lot of people criticize you for having done it wrong and going about this sport and your career incorrectly. But if this is incorrect, 30-0, you'll keep going that route. How much does God play a role in your decision-making professionally and, again, personally?
Well, he plays a very big part because, you know, without God it wouldn't be possible. Even when I went to Canada, I flipped a coin and I said, listen, God, this one's left to you. If it's heads, we're going to Canada. If it's tails, we're not. And I flipped the coin. And it was heads, so I trusted it. And I went and I trust it again. I'm here for a reason. And like I say, I'm going to show that reason Saturday night, all in God's name, and all glory to God for it.
You've had an opportunity to fight Canelo before under different circumstances. You felt that it wasn't a good time. And you're a man who clearly is about principle and will stand on your decisions. What are you now happy that you made that choice then? Is this, in fact, the best time for you to face Canelo?
I mean, like I say, the fight was never going to happen because of lockdown anyway, but the fight got presented to me, and I turned the fight down because of the reason we were all in lockdown. I had no access to a gym. I've got a gym at home, but there was no access to training camp. There was no access to a trainer. There was no access to my nutritionist. So there's no point of just picking up money and thinking, oh yeah, we're going to go and roll and do this and pick up my money and go home. You know what I mean? It don't work like that. I'm prepared for war. You have to be prepared for battle. And I am prepared now.
You wanted this fight at 160 pounds as well when you were both middleweights. Is this a better weight for you to fight, or would 160 have given you an advantage?
I think it's going to give neither of us a big advantage. We're both not the biggest middleweights, super middleweights. So it'd be a good fight. It'd be entertaining.
You've won, some people say, the first round already by holding your ground on the ring controversy and getting at least a couple more feet added to the platform. How will that change the way you proceed on Saturday night, and why was it such an important thing to achieve?
It wasn't really that important, to be honest with you. I just dug my heels in and got what I wanted. Like I say, so the main thing, what matters on Saturday night is the three wise men and the referee sitting around that ring. And I know these Americans are going to give me a fair crack of the whip. The Americans, we're happy with the panel, we're over the moon with the panel, and I know they're going to score it as they see it, not as they hear it. They're very experienced judges, and they're going to score it very, very fairly.
Now, a lot of people will tell you in boxing, don't leave it to the judges, but being the type of technician that you are, and styles make fights, is a decision you believe your best opportunity to win?
In boxing, no one knows what's going to happen. In boxing's a funny world. Things can be so nailed on and then took away. Things can be so took away and so nailed on. But that's why everyone tunes in to watch it.
If Canelo were to be surprised by something Saturday night, and I'm not asking you to give away a game plan, but he seems somewhat dismissive. He said that this is not a tough fight for him, but it might be the most difficult based on your ability to win rounds, but not being a tough fighter. What will be surprising to him Saturday night that maybe he's not anticipating?
When I stand toe-to-toe with him and let my hands go.
And let the big, white, round balls hang.
When they hanging, when I let them balls out, it's all on.
Assuming Saturday night goes the way that you expect, and your hand is raised in victory, surely this is the biggest platform, the biggest stage, the biggest victory you will have had. How do you expect this to change your life? What will be available to Billy Joe Saunders as a man that wasn't before?
Well, what's available to me? What's different now? It won't be any different, apart from my belts. You know, it's money. I've got money. I've got, you know, I'm well known in England. It's not about money for me. It's not about fame. You know, I don't forget where I come from. I don't need an entourage of people around me. I don't need security around me. I am who I am, and I'll never forget where I come from. I'm a natural-born gypsy fighter. You know, I'll never forget my roots, and I'm doing this for the English, the Irish, the Scotch, the Welsh, the American, every single gypsy on the planet. So, you know, I never forget my roots. You know, it's not going to change my life in any shape or form.
A level of fight such as this, with an audience as big as nearly 70,000 people, we'd expect a lot of those gypsies to be in attendance in a normal time in the world. A lot of British fans that come over and support you, maybe to rival the Mexican fans. They can't be here on Saturday night. What would your message to them be watching you at home?
Tune in, my brothers, and watch it. Watch the biggest victory of 2021 unfold.
And before I let you go, Tyson Fury's turned up here in our periphery. You guys are obviously close. He was able to dethrone Deontay Wilder. He dethroned Klitschko. You're here to dethrone the number one pound-for-pound fighter. How much has his counsel or that experience being friends prepared you for this moment? What has he brought to camp?
He's brought a lot to camp. Like I say, we always give each other advice. We always stand by each other, and we're here standing strong and almighty. United we stand.
In the personal relationship between the two of you, is there something? What makes it special? What's the connection there outside of being both gypsies?
We bang loads of prostitutes together.
Well, good luck with the prostitutes on Sunday. I'm sure they'll be lined up if you get the victory.